Good day, everyone. And I am your discussant for today about the basic concept of economic planning. So, let's define the concept of economic planning. So, ano nga bang economic planning? So, it is to make decision with respect to the use of resources. So, in short, it is the resource allocation. So, ibig sabihin, in making decision, isinaalang-alang ng isang state or country kung ano yung the best way to use scarce resources or the limited resources. So, for example na lang is ang nangyaring pag-angkin ng China sa West Philippine Sea. So, alam natin na ang China is a populous community kung saan they are aware that their resources are owned on exhaustion or dahil sa extreme consumption of limited resources. Maaring ang pag-angkin ng China sa West Philippine Sea ay kabilang sa economic planning nila upang makahanap sila ng bagong sources ng mga pinagkukunang yaman nila. So, it is also a term used to describe the long-term plans of government to coordinate and develop the economy. So, for example na lang dyan is, government is the central authority of economic planning. So, ang isang government, they are trying to make decisions and plans to resolve issues at the same time the economic growth. So, there is a certain period of time para ma-achieve yung objectives or the result of economic planning. Gaya na lang ng 5-year plan ng India. So, economic planning also, it is a microeconomic decisions, includes ano mga goods and services to produce the qualities to produce. Ganun din sa macroeconomics decision include the rate of investment and the extent of foreign trade. So, anything connected about the economy, either micro or macro, is included sa economic planning. So, for example lang isa, wages of people ay kasama sa pagpaplano ng to prevent unemployment and to the export din. Let's identify naman natin ang objectives ng economic planning. So, una dyan is the economic growth. So, in determining the economic growth of the country, such as increase in nation's production of goods and services, increase in capital goods, grow in labor force, technological improvement or advancement, and increase in human capital, that can all contribute to economic growth of one country. Second, reduction of economic inequalities. So, inequality hurts the growth of economy. So, dito papasok ang unequal distribution of income and opportunities between different groups of society. So, for example na lang is, according to the ASEAN Trade Union Council, the Philippines has the highest rate of economic and social inequality in Southeast Asia. So, dahil dito, the growing gap between the Philippines riches and the Philippine poorest citizens. So, and isa din dito ang mga indigenous groups remain the most disadvantaged. Bakit? So, dahil sa discrimination and lack of opportunities gaya ng education, healthcare, and trabaho. And not only in the Philippines, but it is the most concern sa lahat ng country sa buong mundo. So our government, ginagawa nila ang kanilang makakaya to reduce these inequalities, economic and social inequalities, to better education, healthcare, social safety, higher and broader economic growth. So, lalong-lalo na sa mga agriculture. So, pangatlong objectives ng economic planning, balanced regional development. So, to bring about balanced regional development, nagsuggest ang Asia ng mga possible solutions. First is improving regional connectivity, utilization of local resources, at expansion ng employment opportunity sa mga region places na malalayo sa city. And pangapat is the modernization. So, kapag sinabing modernization, it is about classic economic modernization. Refers to the changes in the field of economics. It can be industrialization of production, application of modern technologies, the continuous growth of the economy, ganun din sa productivity, improvement of economic welfare and social equality. So, fifth, last, reduction of unemployment. So, kapag sinasabing unemployment, so these are the individuals na employable. So, ready to have work. Pero ngunit they are unable to find work. Kasama ito sa economic planning objective. So, dahil isa din ito sa nagpapahina ng isang ekonomiya, lalong-lalo na sa ating bansa ngayong pandemic situation. So, may 4 types of unemployment. So, first is the frictional unemployment, kung saan ang mga worker, they abandon their job and find a better work, or kusa silang inalis sa trabaho. Second is the structural unemployment. Due to globalization or the changes in market condition, so sila yung unemployed workers. So, for example, lang dito is sa factories. So, they are 10 years workers in factories then. Dahil sa modernization or globalization, nagkaroon ng pagbabago gaya ng napalitan sila ng mga automated machines. Kaya ang porsyento na dumagdag sa unemployment. So, third is cyclical unemployment. So, nangyayari lang ito tuwing recession or temporary decline sa economy, trade, industrial activity, at fall of gross domestic product for 2 consecutive quarters ng taon. So, yun. So, sila yung mga para hindi malugi ang isang company is nag-aalis sila ng kanilang mga empleyado. So, pangapat, seasonal unemployment. So, they are the agricultural, the farmers in the fields. So, seasonal lang po yung pagtatanim ng palay at mais. So, isa din po ito sa sinusubukang bigyan ng solusyon ng ating gobyerno. Possible solution that Philippines to reduce unemployment. First, reducing occupational immobility. Ito yung mga government programs upang madagdagan pa yung skills ng mga unemployed workers. Second, employment subsidies, creating jobs by the government. So, third, sustain economic growth, kung saan mas dumadami pa ang gustong mga magtrabaho sa ating bansa. So, yun lang pang objectives. Next objectives ng economic planning is the characteristics or features of economic planning. So, una na lang dyan is a system of economic organization. So, bakit system of economic organization? So, all the economic activities consist of activities sa production, consumption, distribution, exchange, trade, and so on are kabilang sa economic planning. So, next please, the second characteristics of economic planning is determination of target and priorities. So it includes the selection of objectives, policies, targets, procedures, programs from among the alternatives. So which is tama po. In economic planning, kailangan i-identify the targets, mga priorities. So, madaming dapat isaalang-alang sa pagpaplano, lalo na patungkol ito sa ekonomiya ng isang bansa. So, third characteristics is central planning. So, mayroong namumuno sa isang economic planning. So, for example, in Philippines, Philippines is a mixed economic system which include a variety of private freedom, companies, public and private sector, and combined with centralized economic planning and government regulation, which is ang central planning authority ng Pilipinas ay ang government. So, pangapat, certain period. So, the process of economic planning involved dito ang determination of period of time. Kung gaano kahaba yung makikita yung result. So, for example lang is in India, ang economic planning nila is 5 years. After ng 5 years, another economic planning ulit na 5 years and continuation of it. So, panglima, which is government regulation and control. So, all plans are determined, managed, regulated, and controlled by the government, or generally, they are the central authority. So, without rules and control ng government, it can lead to unlimited control ng public at private sector sa ekonomiya. Kaya napakalaga ng gampanin ng gobyerno dito sa ating Pilipinas. So, last characteristics, which is economic and social government. So, ang pinaka-aim or motive ng economic planning is for economic development, social welfare, and the social security. So, yun lamang po as types of economic planning. So, una na lang dyan is the capitalist planning. So, all the resources are managed and controlled by a private entrepreneurship or company. So, sa capitalist planning, profits over everything else or anything else. So, mas malaga ang profits sa mga capitalist country gaya ng Germany, UK, and United States. So, second, economic planning, which is socialist economy. So, the resources are owned and regulated by the government. So, public is seen to be more important, and the social welfare is a major priority. So, gaya ng Iceland, Denmark, Finland, and so on. So, the third types of economic planning is communist planning, which is all the resources are owned, managed, and regulated by the government, such as the China, Cuba, in Laos. And ang pang-apat na types naman is the fascist planning. So, the planning is regulated and directed and controlled by the individual. So, it can be head of the state or tinatawag siyang dictator tulad ng Germany or the Hitler and the Italy. So, the last types of economic planning is democratic planning. So, these types of planning is adapted in mixed economies. Both the public and the private sector work under the government rules and regulation in control. So, example na lang dito ay ang ating bansang Pilipinas. kung saan tayo ay mixed economy. It is the most ideal as it would prevent companies from having too much control over the economy and allow better government regulations on important commodities. So, ibig sabihin, napakahalagang gampanin ng government sa economy natin to prevent the unlimited control ng mga companies sa economy. So may mga iba pang types of economic planning on the basis of long-term and short-term planning. So pag sinabi nating long-term planning, umabot siya ng 5 to 10 years. Pag short-term planning naman is months or less than a year. Tas pag permanent planning naman is it is a 5-year plan. So gaya ng India na consecutive 5-year economic plan ang kanilang pinatutupad, and emergency plan. So itong emergency plan naman nito ay sa mga emergency situation, floods, pandemics gaya ng pandemic gaya sa ating bansang Pilipinas. So natapos na natin ang mga objectives, characteristics, and types of economic planning. So in conclusion, economic planning help in mobilizing and allocating the resources in desired manner. So objective of economic planning is to reduce inequality, economic growth, balance regional growth, modernization. So each 5-year plan aims at achieving certain targets. So mga 5-year plan constitute the steps toward the fulfillment of objectives of economic planning. So economic planning, motive niya is for economic development and the social welfare. So yun lamang po. Thank you po.
I got no worries, got me, no. I got no problems I can see, no. I got this feeling